Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to my movie vlog. My name's John Campea, and this is my quick review of the new film, Hitman, Day of the Soldier. That's a stupid sounding title, but they swapped out different words. It's actually called Sicario, Day of the Soldado, but it means the exact same thing. It's still a bad title. I mean, seriously, Hitman, Day of the Soldier. So this is obviously a sequel to Sicario, which was actually a pretty good movie, although one of the things they never really explained is, how does a lawyer dude become like one of the most badass assassins in the world? I'm not really sure about that. But anyway, now we're in a brand new story here, and here's the basic setup of it. A horrible terrorist attack, not that there's any friendly terrorist attack, but a horrible terrorist attack happens on US soil. The US government discovers that at least one of the guys who carried out the attack was smuggled into the country over the Mexican border with the help of the Mexican drug cartels. This makes a subgroup of the US government reclassify the Mexican drug cartels as terrorist organizations, and they bring in Josh Brolin, the guy who's not afraid to get his hands dirty, to come in and take care of these guys. And since this is all taking place in Mexico, Josh Brolin decides to go and get his buddy Benicio del Toro, and they decide the best way to take care of these guys is to start a war amongst themselves. And the best way to start that war is by kidnapping one of the daughters of one of the heads of one of the big cartels. Now here's the thing. If the description of the movie stopped there, you could have had a pretty good movie. See, the entire first half of the movie is all about that. It's about Josh Brolin and his team being authorized by the government to get in there and mess up these Mexican drug cartels because they're aiding and abetting terrorists, stuff like that. And they're going to start a war. That's the setup of the movie, right? And that's what the first half of the movie kind of tells you, that that's what this movie is going to be about. All the groundwork that they lay in the first half of the movie is all about that storyline. Unfortunately, that's not what the movie ends up being. Because if you saw that horrible second trailer, the one that basically gave the entire movie away, the movie all of a sudden, halfway through, when you're already just getting into this whole plot about this SWAT team, this like deadly military team is going to take out the Mexican drug cartels, it stops being that movie. And it starts becoming a totally different movie about Benicio del Toro wanting to protect this girl. Again, that's not a spoiler, that's all in the trailers. But the movie completely changes gears halfway through and becomes a totally different film. And as an audience member, that's really frustrating because they have all these scenes in the first half of the film laying the groundwork for what this movie is supposed to be about. And then all of a sudden they just totally change gears and it becomes about something completely else. And the movie's thrown away with like one line of dialogue. Like all this setup's done the first half of the movie, and then this one conversation happens between two characters. One goes, "Oh, we've been shut down." And then that's it. That just completely flushed the entire first half of the movie, and it moves on to something completely different. And if that was all the problems with it, maybe you could get by on some of the cool scenes and some of the cool stuff in the film would carry it and still make it an okay movie, but it becomes very confusing, kind of convoluted. There's a number of things they do in the film that just don't make any sense. And it's one thing to have things that don't make sense, but when you don't even bother to try to explain what's going on to the audience, you're just left the audience going, wait a minute, what's going on? And how did Benicio del Toro's scars magically disappear? That's something you'll have to see in the movie for yourself. But it became a real exercise in frustration as an audience member. And the thing is, at the end of the day, Sicario, Day of the Soldado is not a terrible movie. It's just that it's very frustrating because that first half of the movie, the thing that promised what kind of a movie it was going to be, that built you up and set the groundwork and got you anticipating what was coming, and then just pulled all away, it just leaves you really frustrated. And that's what I felt for the entire last hour plus of the movie. I was sitting there in the theater just frustrated at this thing, that they wasted an hour and a half setting up one movie only to do something completely different that didn't even make any sense to begin with. And look, Benicio del Toro is great in the film. Josh Brolin is great in the film. They set up some really good ethical kind of questions as well throughout the film as well that's played out pretty well. Some of the action stuff is very cool to look at. Some of the kind of more espionage-y kind of things about it was really cool about too. This movie has upside. Again, I'm coming across as more negative than I really want to, but that's just because of the pure frustration I had with that one big mistake. Overall, to me, Sicario, Day of the Soldado, which is still a stupid title, it just shouldn't exist. I really wouldn't recommend you going to see it. Now, if you do, again, there are things that make it worthwhile seeing, yes, but overall, I would say save your money, go watch the Mr. Rogers documentary, Won't You Be My Neighbor, instead. You're going to get a lot more out of that. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. The big question here is, have you guys had a chance to see Sicario, Day of the Soldado yet? If so, what did you think? Were you more forgiving of the film than I was? Did the big change of gears halfway through not bother you as much as it did me? Or did it bother you more? Jump down to the comment section and let me know what you guys think. That'll do it for me, guys. Thanks a lot for joining me. My name's John Campea, and until my next video, bye-bye.